ashes burn in the snow, the night it's our turn.
What's up, Star Wars Unlimited fans? It's Loopee here at Late Night Gaming, and if you're watching this on release day, we are about to jump to Lightspeed, and I actually have a pre-release in the sealed format in about 6 hours. So I've done very well in sealed. Limited is my favorite format. I wanted to actually do a more advanced guide. I did a written set 1 guide for pre-releases and then a set 2 video that was real popular. And I wanted to kind of take it a step further. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go over the rules to build by, and then we're going to talk about how I organized, because I think it actually really helps. And we're going to then actually build a pre-release pool. And I'm going to be playing this later on a live stream with a bunch of bots and networks for pre-release and against my teammates. So just a little bit, to the extent that you don't know me or my content, maybe you're new to the game, we do deck tech videos, we do competitive content. We got 6 great friends and teammates that all work to do this. As far as why you should listen to me, the formats that I've done, pre-releases, I have the blessing of being able to go to many. I think I was 11-1 in pre-release game set 1, and actually the same in matches in set 2. Just last month, or last set in December, or actually it was January, I won the Misty Mountain Limited Championship, where we did sealed for Swiss, and I actually top cut that. And actually my 9-year-old son, who everybody agreed let me help build his deck, he also top cut. So it's partly about knowing the cards, but it's partly about just doing some things smart to maximize your chances, and that's the point of this video. So let's get to it. I am popping up the rules to build by right here. Number 1 is build to your card pool, and the corollary should be do not build to the leader. Okay, I am going to show you a tier list of who I think is better and worse than limited shortly. Okay, but don't force one of the S tier leaders if you don't have the cards for it, because ultimately the 30 cards in your deck are going to be a lot more important than the one leader that you have. If you have multiple leaders that fit your cards, that's when you pick between them. I hope that makes sense. 2, build to a curve. And this has a lot to do with the organization that we do. You want to always have a first turn play. It's really bad not to in a format like this. And you want to be able to play something in potentially 2 things, but you want to be able to curve to at least 5 or 6. Limited is a little bit slower than constructed. The games can get grindy. You absolutely need to curve. Next is play your bombs. Okay, so you're going to have some high power cards. It can mean a bunch of different things, but you got to recognize what cards have the ability to just swing a match by themselves and then play as many of them as possible. And that's also has a lot to do with what colors you select and then when you select your leader. Next is look to trade synergy. In your pool, maybe you have all kinds of resistance cards. Well, you might want to build into that. Next is keywords. Ambush and Sentinel, because they set up 2-for-1s, right? You can control what's going to happen with both Ambush and Sentinel. What you ultimately need to do is remove more of the opponent's cards than yours. And both of these are excellent for doing that. I think that they're the 2 best keywords for limited. So look for the ability for Ambush and Sentinel. And finally, prioritize your removal. Removal is thinned in all limited formats. Sealed, it's what you got. So you're going to want the ability to take care of some threats that your opponent plays, maybe in an arena that you don't have a unit handy. So whatever your removal is, you want to prioritize those colors. All right, so this is the tier list. Let me hide my face cam for the rest of this. But this is basically how I prioritize the jump to Lightspeed leaders. At the top, you have leaders that are very good. They have good stats, whether it's pilot or not, and they deploy relatively quickly. Okay, and then you have kind of in the A tier, a bunch of leaders that offer good stats, and you notice this is significantly different than how we did constructed. Rose is a card I would never play, frankly, in constructed, but in limited, It's a 5 deploy with decent stats and an ability that actually matches grinded games. On the bad tier are things that are very, very niche. Now, Piet, I mean, looking at him, I mean, there should be a proviso. I mean, this is with the general card pool. If you happen to have all kinds of capital ships, yes, Piet can be reasonable, and then he's going to be very good. But that's not going to be most of the card pools, so you don't want to be trying to use something that requires a whole bunch of resistance cards or a whole bunch of capital ships, or, I mean, Trench actually kind of mills your own deck, so he's got Afra's problem in limited. There. I mean, Thrawn is a great constructed leader, but I mean, you only have so many when defeated, and a lot of the real important when defeated are from different sets. So this is how I view it, but you do this after you select your cards and colors. I basically think that the right move is to get your best 30 cards that you're going to play, and then maximize the leader. Some tweaking allowed. Just very quickly, what I bring, and this is what I do. I bring a deck pod. I always have 30 sleeves counted out. And then if it is best of 3, it is an extra 12. And that's real important. And actually, that draft championship in January, I went against a young man, Jack Fitzgerald, in the top cut draft, and he had a Thrawn Vigilance deck. And I did actually have my extra sleeve. I dumped my sideboard into it. He killed me game 1. Getting milled is something that is tough and not expecting the typical draft pool, but we had 2 excellent games, 2 and 3, and I squeaked out with my Tarkin deck, and having the extra sleeves to back up your 30s there. And then also, depending on how long your event is, I like to have snacks. I like to have sugary snacks, so that's what I do. Finally, let me explain how I organize, and you'll see this in a second on my board. I opened all of these already in a video live on camera. But what we do is I curve and I separate by heroism and villainy. And this allows me to, once I get to analyzing what to do, having some indication of what colors have the right number of cards in it. Okay. There's other ways to do this. I recommend organizing for sure. If you want to organize by colors, that's fine. I'll link a couple other vids. I think Bobby Sapphires does that. But you should be doing something to make this visually available to you when you're deciding what deck to play, because it's a tough decision, and actually what your colors and aspects are really there. Okay, and I know some of these are set 1 and 2 cards, but I'm just putting things that represent what they are, right? Barrage is removal. I do events, and events is basically utility events. So this is things that do something that's other than removal. Sometimes they're good, sometimes bad. And then I actually have a stack for upgrades too. I would put pilots as units, but a pure upgrade would go there. All right, so let's actually build the deck we're going to use. All right, so here we are to my favorite part when we build a deck. So what we're going to do is we have everything organized as I just put forward in that chart. And one thing that I do recommend is I think that it's important to actually wait until you have your entire pool out there before you do too much to select a leader or think of combos or that kind of thing. And the reason that I say that is it's not draft. You don't have any agency in what you have. If you do what I've seen in some videos, which is kind of pick a leader like in your first or second pack and say, hey, this might be really good, you really run the risk of having that first pack affect things much more than the later ones. And that's not the right way to think about sealed. In draft, you absolutely do that. In sealed, you really ought to let all of the cards get out there and then make some decisions. So the first thing we look at, or I always look at, is removal. So we'll go through here. This is not a great pool at all for removal. Okay. I mean, I put Heartless Tactics here because arguably it can remove a threat that turn, but they're bad removal. Piercing Shot is pretty good. Shoot Down is excellent. And we have 2 red cards in removal. So we're going to have some units to make up for that. The next thing is I typically analyze the bombs. The only thing that costs more than 6 is Fleet Interdictor. Now, just because something is higher than the curve that goes up to 6 doesn't mean it's a great bomb. I mean, something like Executor, yeah, I mean, it's strong, but it's also the case that that card you're not going to get to in most games. All right, so Fleet Interdictor, though, it's a big Sentinel. It defeats there. That's a good card. And then bombs also are in the curve too. This is really notable to me. You have 4 6-drops in Hero Blue Red, and they're all big chunky space units. So that would be a major incentive to do that. If you see the pilot on one of those things, say with Rose, or we have some other pilots here that we'll look at in a second. You're going to be probably winning that game because they're not going to have a great way to remove it. All right, so then I typically will look at the first turn plays, right? So 2s and 1s are first turn plays. We have a blue and red neutral 2s. Okay, we have some good heroic 1s in yellow. And then R2 is great. I mean, you're definitely playing R2 unit if you're there. Here in heroic, these two are neutral, yellow neutrals, but we have a middling pilot as a 2-drop, and the A-wing is great if we're playing a hero green. Here, in the villain side, we do have some very good 2-drops. Kajimi Patrollers are great for Vader. All of these first order cards are pretty good, and Ankh Squadron Brute. So black, red, and blue look good for first turn plays. This is very notable. Von Rieg's Interceptor is a great card. Sith Trooper is very good. Interceptor 8 is okay, but it is a relevant card. Let's see what we got for 3s. All right, so Leia should be up here in heroic cards. Ooh, we got 2 droid missile platforms. Those are big indirect damage cards. They're 4/2s. Trace Martinez, 2 of them. They're neutral pilots. She's really, really good for healing. She strikes and you heal, and a bunch more 3s. So nothing is telling me that blue-red isn't the way to go here. We have Cam. He kind of gets from hunting aggressive. Is great for Boba Fett. Occupier Siege Tank is meh. Magnificent Freeman is there. All right, so I did that kind of card reveal. Let's just kind of look through the non-removal events, see if anything's exciting. Not really. We have all kinds of green search cards, but not anything to really search for. Jump to Lightspeed is way too niche for this. Commence Patrol is okay. I mean, Repair is not horrible in limited. It's 3 health there. Oh, Targeting Computer is really good. Targeting Computer is assign all indirect damage for a unit. So that's another Boba Fett card. All right, so having done that, I can tell you I'm between Rose Tico and Boba Fett, both in blue-red, and it's a close call. The advantage to going Rose is you get to play that Falcon we had. You get to play these big chunky units. We have some good support at the low levels for Hero Green, but nothing big, no payoffs there, right? So that's unfortunate. I mean, if we had good green bombs, I might come differently here. I think this is a Boba Fett pool. I think this is Boba in blue and red. We have a lot of indirect damage supports in there. So what we'll do is we'll take Boba Fett out here, and we'll grab the blue base, we'll set there, and then we're just going to actually pull the cards and see how many we have with just doing all of the cards in aspect that we may play. I mean, I will exclude things that I definitely won't. So we get the 5-drops. We're definitely playing the 2 pieces of removal we have. Put both of those upgrades in there for now. We're not going to play Cover the Wing. We'll Close the Shield, get and Repair in that pool for now. Let's do the one first turn plays separately. So all the blue and red here. We have Royal Security Fighter. We're probably playing the grid ship. Put a pilot on that. That's really good. Supporting ETA is okay. Bus ground units, forming Vulture droids is not going to be good. So what do we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One less than I would like. We have a spacer. We have this gray boy snuck in by the heroes. Wait a minute, that gets us 8. That's what I look for. All right, so Von Rieg's Tie is one of the best cards in the deck. We'll play those other 2 ones. Let's look at the 3s that are blue and red. Just grab them. We're trying to figure out what we have and what our pool is before we cut. The neutrals, reds, we'll put all of these in. There's no way we aren't playing next to aggressor. The 5s. I guess the siege tank's going for now, but they're close to the cut line. Corellian Freighter. I don't think I'm playing Corellian Freighter in this time. All right, so let's count these cards, see what we got. One thing I should note is we did get a thermal oscillator rare base. We're never going to play thermal oscillator in limited. It's just hard enough. You have to worry about mill already, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, 35 cards, so we need to cut 5. All right, I'm going to cut twin laser turret. It has a limitation of arena. I don't like that. I think I'm going to close the shield gate too. I mean, it really only helps if they only have one big thing. Because if they can do 1 damage to your base, they can get rid of it. So very, very distinct card. Because siege tank, that's 3 cut. Crit ships when defeated. We have a lot of 3s. We might need to deal with that. I'm not cutting any of that. This is all the K only. Storming Vulture is just a vanilla 2/2 in space. So I feel we can get rid of one of these. All right, so we'll do that. I think it's 1 more cut. Look at the other occupier siege tank. 4 health, 5 cost units is not a good thing. So 1 more count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1 off. All right. So, and then the final way that I count is I'm going to actually sleeve these into the 30 sleeves. So I'm going to do that right now, and then I'm going to use it to crush people. I will play this on the Bothan Network thing. If this video is helpful, please like, subscribe. Good luck at all your pre-releases. I hope you have the success I have had historically, and I hope this video is helpful. I'll put some other videos from good creators. There's good ones from Woo for Jump the Lightspeed. There's a one from Bobby Sapphire from the prior set to give you even more help. And go ahead and crush your pre-releases and jump to Lightspeed. Later.